Alright, what is up ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all having a great fantastic day, and for today's latest episode of Breakdown, we are going to be going over the ASM10 in Call of Duty Mobile. So there's a lot to talk about this weapon, but the very first thing I do want to say is this. We are going to be having 3 classes here. Yes, I know, pretty strange. The first class is going to be kind of an SMG class. The second class is going to be in regards to our usual best class setup, our consistent class setup, and our third class is going to be more so of a accuracy and recoil control type of class. So we are going to be having 3 classes, but the consistent best class we are going to be actually focusing on. So ladies and gentlemen, without any form of delay, let's get straight into it. Alright, so let's actually get into the origin of the weapon over here. So the ASM10 originally came out in Black Ops 2 under the name of the AN94. It was seen as one of the best assault rifles, and it later on made other appearances such as in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, its name in 2 of those games, in 3 of them was the AN94, but in COD Mobile, it's titled the ASM10. Now, strangely enough, the name ASM10 actually belongs to an SMG weapon from Advanced Warfare. So it's really weird, but nonetheless, these people don't know how to name their weapons. Anyways, let's actually get into the class setup for Call of Duty Mobile on the ASM10. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be going over the best consistent class setup for the ASM10 here, not the other 2. We will talk about it very briefly, but we're going to be focusing on this. So when it comes down to the build, I wanted to focus on its accuracy, its recoil, its control, that sort of stuff, because it's really difficult, but at the very same time, make sure that it still has its mobility and as well as its range. So all these attachments are building upon those. If you see that I didn't put one attachment or something instead of something else, it's most likely because it would reduce either our mobility or our control, and I didn't want that because ARs already have a very slow ADS time, and that's not really good. I also did run the sleight of hand perk because we need to increase our reload time. It's horrible. Anyways, let's actually talk about this class setup in regards to its damage and damage range. So let's first off talk about the base. The base over here deals us 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and this is in regards to the shots to kill that I will also have on the table over there for you guys. And when we continue to look at it, it's pretty good. It's not bad. At close range, this is going to be an absolute monster. 3-shotting people, it'll do remarkable work at that range. And if you decide to use this weapon as an SMG, which I will be talking very briefly about, it's very good. Trust me, you can use that. But let's actually compare it now to the numbers that we have for our best consistent class setup over here. And as you can see, it takes 1 less shot to kill at 20 and 40 meters. So this is pretty good. 40 meters doesn't matter too much because 40 meters along with its recoil is a little bit crazy unless you run the accuracy class setup, which I will also be going over very briefly. But at 20 meters, you're going to be able to laser people with the improved control and accuracy of this class setup with its 3-shot potential at the 20 meters. Of course, we are going to presume that you're hitting all your shots on the opponent. Now, let's move on to the recoil pattern for both the class and the base weapon over here. So when it comes down to the base weapon, the hipfire is trash. I'm sorry, it just is. You can make it better, but I mean, like, why would you? You're not really focusing on that. When it comes down to the accuracy, it's not good. The control is very difficult for this weapon. Now, when we actually compare it to the class, the hipfire is still trash. I didn't care for it. When it comes down to the accuracy, it is much better. It is a little bit easier to control as well. So in general, it's not insanely improved, but it's improved. It's to the point where you'll be able to notice that you're able to, get a higher accuracy when it comes down to you using this weapon, especially this specific class. You're going to see that. Now, we can also talk about some other factors before we get into the marksman and SMG type of classes I made. So when it comes down to the RPM of both weapons, they are both extremely slow, being at 551 to 555 shots per minute. Extremely slow. Like, It's not the slowest, but it's fairly slow. When it comes down to the ADS time, the base ADS time is 0.26 to 0.30 seconds. So, I mean, like, it's pretty slow. And when it comes down to the class, we're running at 0.23 to 0.25 seconds. So there is an improvement there. It's pretty good. It's manageable. You know what I mean? Again, this is for the consistent class setup, the best class setup, rather than our focused SMG or focused accuracy class setup. And when it comes down to the reload speed, the base reload speed is horribly slow. It's 1.93 to 1.97 seconds. This is practically 2 whole seconds of you being in that match. Like, good God. It's horribly slow. When it comes down to the actual class, we're running at 1.69 to 1.72 seconds because of that perk that we used. And it's actually pretty helpful, so trust me, you're going to want to run it. Now, on the guards, on the topic of iron sights, it's usable. It's manageable, but if you want to make sure that you're using this weapon as an accuracy machine, don't run it. Put a red dot. Trust me, you're going to see it. You're going to be seeing the positivities on that. So let's actually talk about, by the way, 2 other things that I did mention in this video, which is the fact that even though this is the best class setup as well, I did make 2 other class setups for this, which I did put up on the screen, and I'm going to do so one more time here. When it comes down to our SMG class, this weapon is made for mobility, because there is a potential for this weapon to absolutely mutilate people at close range. You know what I mean? So if you want to run this weapon as an SMG, run it on Shipment, Kill House, Nuketown even. And in general, it is a great class to use, but I do want to also stress the fact that the accuracy of that class is horrible. It's horrible. You're not going to be having a swell time with the accuracy, let's just say. Now, when it comes down to our accuracy class, everything is the exact opposite. Our accuracy is on point. Our control is on point. Our range is on point. Able to hit 3 shots at 5 to 20 meters. Now, I wasn't able to increase that, oddly enough, but then again, it's still really good. And the one downside with it is pretty obvious. The mobility. The mobility is trash. I'm using it right here. It's horrible. It may look like I'm doing pretty good with the mobility in ranked. By the way, all the clips in here were ranked, but like ranked gameplay, you know what I mean? But in general, it is extremely difficult. I do not like either of these class setups on any sort of medium-sized map. Long range map, yeah, this accuracy class setup is the way to go. Small maps, yeah, the SMG class setup for the ASM10 is the way to go. But a map such as, let's say, firing range or any other sort of medium-sized map, I think the consistent class setup is the way to go. Believe me on that. Anyways, I don't really have anything else much to say other than my own highlights of the weapon, my own opinion. I do think this is a very good gun. I think it's one of the best in the game, and I think it's better than the DRH because of the fact that it can deal 3-shot kills at very close ranges and at some long ranges as well. Now, the DRH isn't able to do that. Now, the DRH has one thing that I'll give it that this weapon doesn't, and it's the fact that accuracy and its control, it's way easier to control when it comes down to its accuracy. I'll give the DRH that. But in general, I do think that the ASM10 as a consistent weapon is better than the DRH. You know what I mean? It's not by too much, but it's still just a little bit better, like a foot better, if one may say. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like. Please make sure to subscribe and make sure to have a great, fantastic day.